I've been so excited for this interview because I absolutely love your movie. I saw this at Telluride. Daniel, before we started this interview, you were saying you wanted to make a movie after Navalny, which you won an Oscar for. Why wanting to make a movie? I guess, which is like a rare occurrence. I feel like nowadays in this climate,
it shouldn't be. It shouldn't be. I think movies that movie really hard. They're just my favorite movies. Like capital M movie, and there's a stigma in our culture and like film culture that it's got to be like very serious, very brooding, very like. I very affectionately refer to a lot of films that come out now as art house garbage, and I love art house garbage.
Okay.
I say that with great affection,
Okay.
and I just wanted to make a movie that movied, that just harkened back to like some of my favorite movies. Capital M, you know, you're like, it's hard to be human, it's hard to exist. A lot of people like spend their days at jobs they don't really like. They want to go home, they want to turn on a movie. Right now. I want them to watch a movie. I want them to watch like a fun. If someone finishes this movie and they're like, that was really fun, that was cool, I'm like, amazing job. That was the point. That's what we were trying to do here. And I think that there's time and space for the heady, important films as well. But this is a movie, and I wanted to movie really hard.
I love that. I think you really did. For the actors, so for Dustin and Lior, did you appreciate the movie, like that it was like an old-fashioned kind of movie, I guess, or like a movie, like Daniel is saying there, in terms of...
When I read
Yeah.
when I read first the script, I thought there are two movies in this movie.
Okay.
There is a heist movie and there is like a jazzy movie. And I didn't... Heist. So that's what I
Heist.
said, no heist. You said heist, I said heist.
He said heist.
Okay. So it's a... So I thought it's a heist movie on one side. The other side, it's a jazzy music, very deep love story, totally different movies. And then when I saw the editing in the end, it was big one movie that really I loved it, and I think for me to be part of it, to be part of to work with Dustin and with Daniel, it's amazing experience for me. It was one of the best experiences that I had in my life. Yeah.
Dustin.
We're talking about Tuner, Dustin.
I'll tell you later on about my experience, my best experience.
What was your experience with this movie?
Talking to the mic, Dustin.
What was your best experience in life?
Yes.
No, not the experience in life. The movie. How did you like? Why did you want to do it, Dustin?
Well, I was working in London, and I was sent a script, and I had some downtime, so I read it, and I thought this is an unusually well-written script, and I said, you know, that's the first part you learn when you've done it for a while. What's the director like? I'd like to meet the director. This man flew from California to London the next day, and we hit it off. And I have, at this point, learned that there are usually directors who like actors, and there are directors who would rather just meet them in the cutting room. And he likes actors, and in fact, he believes in coalescing, if that's the right word, with that they become one thing. The actor in him is the director. The director in me is he recognizes. I can say that badly, again if you want, or I can make it better. He merges your own sense of direction, your own sense of, because actors are writers. Nobody wants to give us that credit, but we are. And he merges all of that into one thing, and he then joins forces with you. I found that most unusual, and the fact that he could do this film, first film.
That's what I was going to say. Feature film debut. Yeah.
The casting was his. The directing was his. The writing was his. The improvising was encouraged by him. In over 50 years of doing this, I have never worked with anyone with that kind of conceptual talent right from the beginning, except maybe The Godfather, which I thought I was in until I found out I wasn't.
When you hear stuff like that, Daniel, I mean, what is that like for you to hear that from Dustin Hoffman?
Yeah,
who's
when
made
Dustin's talking
movies
about-
with Mike Nichols. And
I know. Look, the filmmakers he's worked with, I am well versed in his filmography, And I'm like, Dustin, do you forget who you are? Do you forget the movies you've been in? It's really astounding, and I think what Dustin's speaking to is the spirit of collaboration that we all enjoyed in this movie. Like, you have an actor like Dustin, you have actors like Lior or Havana or Leo or Tova. Like, we had an amazing cast. Jean Reno was there for a few days, and it's just like, okay, these guys are some of the best in the world. Let them just do their thing, and it's about sort of having the confidence to just say, okay, Dustin's the department head of this character, and Lior's the department head of that character, and just framing the movie through that lens. And my documentary brain is like, okay, let's see what happens. Let's just like let him do his thing. And Dustin's someone who's super comfortable improvising. I think that's fantastic. What kind of sort of like intangible stuff can you just like pull out of the air? And just being open and receptive to that.
Did you study acting at it?
No, I don't know anything about acting. It's just actors are this like fabulously weird and bizarre, strange breed. I don't understand them at all. I find them incredibly fascinating to watch them work, and it's really like, just get out of your way and let them do their thing. I can't explain it. I can't do it myself, but I understand that there is this intangible genius that just exists in the world with actors. I've never seen anything like it. It's just a very strange art form of which I have no talent myself. But when I see it, it's sort of like magic.
Right.
I could get a great performance out of you if I was directing you.
Do you think so?
Yeah.
Well, we'll try that.
Oh,
we'll try that later.
He'd make a great King Lear, don't you think?
Oh yeah.
I've always thought that, actually, now that we're discussing it.
You have like Leo Woodall, who's obviously not here, but is the lead of this movie. I found like, again, a movie, like a movie star performance feels like right out of the box. I was like, holy shit, this guy has it. Did you, I guess for all, like you guys all have so much scenes with him, obviously, but did you know that right away with Leo? Like what stood out to you, like when you were casting that role, like what were you looking for, and like what did he have for that you
Leo's
found?
Leo's just the real deal. Like this is a guy, I think I gave him 3 directions the entire movie. I just like, he could do it all. Dustin, are we okay?
Yeah, he was trying to butt in, and I didn't
He
want
can. I'd love to hear from Lior and you, but Daniel, go ahead.
He's the real deal. Like, I didn't have to say anything to him. I love that. I could just leave him alone, let him do his thing. I didn't have my favorite Leo story. He was doing a scene. I had a note, so I come out of my little tent, and he sees me walking across towards him. He says, "I know, I got it, I know." And I pivot on my heel and I walk back. And the next take, I didn't have to say a thing. That's sort of like the simpatico that you dream of, that you hope for. And he's just so good that it made my job very, very easy.
Lior, what were you going to say?
No, I didn't want to say anything, but I will make up.
Improvise.
I will improvise. Listen, Leo in Hebrew? No,
Do
but
it in
nobody
English.
will
Just keep it in
understand. Nobody will
English. Keep it in
understand. So I think Leo is a great partner first because he's a great listener, and also I love to play with him because he's a great reactor. You don't need to do anything. You can do it with your eyes. You can see in his eyes and the energy that he brings to the scenes. Amazing. It's one of the and so much fun. We laughed a lot. We had when you trust your partner, this is the best thing that you can ever get, and he's the guy that you can trust.
Their scenes together,
Yeah.
scenes together were quite wonderful.
I thought they were great, yeah. But
Really
I think your
great.
scenes too. And I mean, you've worked with. I'm not going to compare him to like Steve McQueen or like Robert Redford or fucking Tom Cruise.
You
but I
can
mean,
you
like,
can compare him
Yeah,
to
yeah.
those
You
guys.
are like you've worked with guys like at that caliber, and this feels like a movie star performance. I guess like what was your experience with him then? Like like in this film,
Well,
Leo.
it's interesting you say that because it's not often that you work with new people in a sense
right.
who you say he's a star, and Leo is a star. He has a quality that is not only capture in life, but it's on the screen. He jumps at you. It's you don't see it very often.
Like Havana, actually. Havana have it as well.
Yeah,
Incredible.
She's going to be a superstar
Oh
for
yeah,
sure.
of course.
Yes.
And their chemistry together is great, and your chemistry with all of them is really great too. I think.
And
Yes.
I'm glad you said that, Lior. Havana's obviously not here today, but
Yeah.
Havana, some jobs for actors, they show up, they act, they leave. This was a job, spend 3 months learning how to become a piano virtuoso, then show up and act and leave. And this is a woman, a young actor, who approached the work with the drive, the discipline, the dedication, the ambition that mirrored the character that she depicted on screen. And when there's that simpatico, when there's so many similarities between the actor and the character, there's a realness there that Havana tapped into. And look, she's just incandescent. She's one of the best parts of the movie, and I'm so glad she.
And I don't think that
agreed to do
people
it.
know that she's really played the piano. She really played it, and also it's.
She studied for how long before you
Not
started
long.
shooting?
It was not long. Probably like 2 months, something like that. It was pretty.
Amazing.
She worked so hard.
I want to ask you about the Lior character because I kept going back to like, and this maybe is a bad comp, but I was like something wild like Ray Liotta type because like you're obviously like playing an antagonist, let's say, but like there's an empathy there, or you're not an outright like mustache twirling villain, I would say. And a mustache twirling villain, he's not playing that character.
But twirling.
Yeah, the twirling. You don't even have a mustache. But
one
I
of the
was like
first
impressed with
parts
that
I ever
character,
did.
and I thought
Cheer
like
the hero and hiss the villain.
You got him going.
got it. You know how it is. That's like a cliche. But I was really impressed with that character because I was like, I've seen, you could see that going a lot of different ways. And I just thought the way you handle that as a performer and the way you wrote it, like, I guess, like, kind of, can you talk about that, like, how you kind of conceptualized, like, Lior's character and how you kind of felt like, talked about with Daniel?
Very quickly, I'll let Lior speak to this primarily, but the best bad guys are the ones you like to hang out with. That's the complexity of the character. It's like I wanted to craft like sort of the gang of baddies. It's a crime film, so there are tropes to the genre, and one of the tropes is that you have like your gang, your bad guys. But you still want to craft those characters so they're fun to hang out with. You enjoy spending time with them, and that is something, one of my favorite parts of the movie, the fact that thing I think works. And it's only because it's Lior and Gil and Isan, the two wonderful actors who round out the sort of bad guy group with Stacy the dog, who's the fourth musketeer. But it was with Lior's leadership and just sort of like setting the pace and encompassing that character and us discussing, like, he's a bad guy, but he's not a bad guy.
Right.
He thinks he's doing the right thing and whatever in his own narrow view of morality. And it was just so much fun to play with that putty.
Yeah, for me to play this kind of character, I'm not judging him at all. I'm reading it and I'm trying to justify what he's doing. And for me, and also there is a saying, the better the villain, the better the movie. And for me, if the villain have so much other things other than to be a villain, then you fall in love with him, then you want to hang out with him. So this is what I try to bring, humor, and it's already written there, and you gave it, and we all improvised in Hebrew a lot over there, and we were laughing all the time, and for me to be part of this, to do this role in this kind of atmosphere that we had on set, it was amazing.
You have a movie here too, I guess, like about like the Leo character can't do the thing he loves, I guess. And I was wondering, like, how did that speak to all of you as artists? Like, the theme of this movie is like a little bit of like, I'm so good at this thing, but then I'm not able to do it because of like physical limitations or whatever. I guess like, and I found that like really moving, I guess. And I guess for you as artists, I wondered, how did you think about this? And Dan, you co-wrote this and directed it. So like, what do you think?
It's this question of like, if you're an artist, if you're someone who's passionate about anything and does anything, and that's the sort of goal and purpose and pursuit of your life, and then you can't do that thing, who are you? How do the things we do impact our identity and vice versa? And what is your personhood if you have an ability or talent or skill or passion and it's taken away from you? And, for me, that's my greatest fear. It's like, what happens if I lose the thing that makes me me, which is the stuff I make, the work that I love to do? And that's sort of the landscape that Leo's character is sort of wafting through and trying to navigate through and come to terms with. And Leo plays that journey with a real gravitas and sort of a melancholy, sort of a melancholic character who's trying to reconcile with this profound loss and grieving through that. But I think it's anyone who is sort of lost a job that was important to them, or lost a person that was important to them, dealing with, okay, who am I now that this thing's gone? And to me, that's a very universal and challenging question.
Dustin, did that like kind of, did you know, like, did that speak to you at all or anything like that? Like, did you think about that too?
I think it spoke to me in a profound way because I've played piano all my life. I wanted to be a pianist at one point in my life. And I had piano tuners come and work on the pianos that I played on. And I realized that so many of these piano tuners were artists, were great pianists. But you can't make a living it's like making a living being a poet. And he caught that. And the respect and, in a sense, the poignancy or the sadness that exists with that, I thought was one of the things that made me want to do the film. He introduced me to a guy who was a piano tuner And here I'd played piano all my life, and I'd never, ever heard a guy talk about a piano the way he did. He said, he says it very humbly, he says, I think every piano has a soul. I never heard that.
That's really moving.
Has a soul, he says. And he says, pianos are, I said, what about perfect pitch? He says, there's no such a thing as perfect pitch. Your pitch isn't necessarily perfect. There is nothing perfect. It's somehow, I don't know, I can't remember how he put it. God, he was.
So this Dustin's talking about my close friend Peter White,
Mm-hmm.
who sort of inspired this movie. He's a piano tuner in Los Angeles. I met him just socially. Our wives are close. He's a piano tuner in Los Angeles. Our wives are friends, and he started telling me about his work and his job and sort of this ethereal bridge between the art and the engineering, the mechanisms and the performers. And without the tuner, there's no player. And I just thought that these sort of themes and ideas, the entropy and atrophy of the universe wants to pull these pianos out of tune, and he frames his job as the responsibility of restoring order where the universe wants chaos.
Mm-hmm.
And to me, it's these lofty, very thematic ideas that are packaged via this job of traveling from house to house, concert venue to concert venue, restoring order and fixing up these instruments. And a lot of them, that's the other thing, are given, like a lot of these, the houses that my friend works at and services are very wealthy people for whom an interior decorator or designer is like, hey, we should get a Steinway and put it under the stairs. It'll look great. You can put your photos on it. And these are beautiful, sometimes $500,000 instruments that often go unplayed. And there's the sort of Sisyphusian task of servicing these instruments that don't get the love of the player. And so in our movie, when Leo's character, Nikki, recognizes that there's this woman who is a brilliant pianist who can't afford to have her instrument repaired the way it needs to be, he's like, it's on the house. Because it's this thing of like, I need to fix this for you. Like, this is what I do in the world. This will empower you. And that's what, he also has a crush on the girl, of course.
Right.
But it's also folded into like,
Yeah.
it means so much to me to get this in working shape so you can continue doing your art.
Right. Go ahead, Dustin, again.
No, I was just going to say this is a very unusual film. I've never been a part of any film that has this uniqueness and at the same time makes you want to turn the page. The hardest part of this interview is that this is the kind of stuff people say for all films that they have to do interviews, and this is authentic.
This when we meet at this time.
Yes, it's the first time I've ever meant it.
We have to wrap up. I know I have to let you guys go, but I do think like we started this by saying like you wanted to make a movie, and like the idea of like a lot of art house garbage that you respect,
Which we love.
We love art.
We love it.
Love art house
That's
garbage.
my
But I'm just
loving.
saying like all these like really profound things that you could do in a really entertaining movie, and that's I think
Thank
what
you,
I
thank
responded
you.
to, and I think people will as well. So I know we have to wrap up. Tuner is the movie. It's here at TIFF, and thank you for watching The Ankler, and hopefully you guys can see this movie soon enough because it's
Thank
great.
you for having us.
Thank
you.
guys.
If you don't like it, just send it to my publicist, and we'll make sure that he gives you your money back.
Thanks, everyone.
Thank you very much.